So no pressure,
Not at all.
right? Everyone's feeling very relaxed.
Yeah, we're good.
Oh man. So in all honesty, I just want to start with thank you so much for doing this. This opportunity is like unbelievable that you want to have us
Thank you,
here,
yeah.
set it all up.
Nah, dude, look what you just you just turned, like I just said, store into a studio in a matter of minutes.
Right.
That was ridiculous.
That's what we're
pretty
trying
amazing.
for, bro.
That should be a business in itself. Right
Well, it
there,
is.
like,
Yeah.
bang,
We're
just
trying to
go
make it to
pop
be.
up,
Yes.
boom, boom, let's do this. Like,
Absolutely, man.
that was
But
sick. Like, you came with the lights, everything. I was not expecting this. Table,
it's the whole thing,
killed
dude.
it.
And I fit all of it in my Toyota Corolla.
you killed it.
That's the bigger thing.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't.
saw you pull in, and I said, Matt, we're gonna have
That's
to clear
more
the table
impressive,
off.
yeah.
I wasn't thinking this far in advance ahead of this, and I'm like, we're gonna have to do everything right now. But you killed
Hey, man. I
it.
mean,
It's awesome.
just thank you for having us. So we're
Yes.
here at
No,
Past to
you're welcome,
Present
dude.
Vintage,
Yes.
Barrington, New Jersey. Everything's good. Oh yeah, no, I mean you're good, bro. If you don't want to use them,
Sure.
you know, he's like, I'm gonna look official and shit.
Yeah, right.
I
This
wanna
is
be
my
official. Look,
this
I'm
is
the
my
only one
moment.
Yeah, right.
He's like, if I'm
I'm
in
the
the,
only one not
edit after
wearing
this, and he's got his headphones on and mine aren't on, I'm gonna be pissed.
I'm the only
Oh,
one
that's
not
so
wearing it.
funny.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, you guys just leaning in, totally fine. But anyway, so quick intro.
Yes.
You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Joe Vernacchio, the owner
The
of
full
Past
government.
to Present Vintage. Yeah, I give you the full government.
The full fucking
Should I
government,
not
bro.
have done that? Like,
People know me as Joe.
I was gonna say
Joe.
Joe.
nah. But yeah, I'm the owner of Past to Present Vintage. This is where we're at. Just
Out here in the streets,
out here in the
just doing our
streets,
thing.
Barrington, New Jersey, bro.
And you, sir?
Matt Leslie, from 45 minutes north of Pittsburgh, Saxonburg, PA, small town.
Oh, word! You're from all the way out there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah.
far.
So how'd you guys? So what is this? What is this beautiful working
You're gonna get into
relationship
the
we
story
have here?
with me and Matt right away.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I need to know. Well, I
He
mean,
was-
I only get into it even faster because I had no idea you were from
He's from
Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
From Pittsburgh.
I moved out here. I was a manager for Champ Sports, and that's where we actually met. He was an assistant manager for us for a little while. He ended up leaving.
You were the assistant and you were the manager?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
co-manager.
big
yep.
dick energy
And
is
then,
strong.
well, then, like, the thing was, like, he would always talk about this business, like, in, you know,
This is when it just started. Like, this is when, like,
Yeah.
my Instagram. I mean, my Instagram's not crazy, but, like, this is when, like, I literally, like, I quit my job at my first job to go full time with this, and I was like, oh, I'm not going to be able to go full time with it right away, but let me get a part time job because I was tired of, like, what I was doing at the time. I was taking on a lot, and I just got, like, an assistant manager position, which wasn't as much. I was a district manager at the time, to where it's like you go from 4 stores from being the third in charge at one store. I was, like, content with that so I can run past to present more. I hated it. I got
Really?
there and I hated it.
Okay.
Completely different than, like, it
he
just-
left us.
But
That's where
walked
it all
out
started,
on the
really.
board.
I mean, yeah, that's
I literally walked out. I went
Really?
on my lunch break. and I
Was
left.
this at
This is at Champs and Cherry.
Cherry Hill, yeah.
in the Cherry Hill Mall? You ran that thing?
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
my
I was-
God,
yeah,
man.
I
I
was
bought a
co-manager.
lot
I
of
was there by
sneakers from there in
myself,
the
yeah.
past, bro.
Yep, yeah, there was a
Jesus.
general manager. I was there for 3 months by myself, but yeah.
Okay.
And then, I mean, I was sitting in the back. I said, "What's up, Joe? You're going on your lunch break?" He shut his locker, and I never seen him again. But no, no, we
But
actually,
the cool part
yeah.
is, so like, I was in Pro Image forever. You knew that.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's one of the places we first met. Bought sneakers off
Yeah.
you like 10 years
For
ago.
anyone who
So-
doesn't know, I know off rip, you're gonna have a lot of local people who are definitely gonna tune in to listen to you two. But for anyone who doesn't know, Pro Image Sports is it's all
All
like
just-
Michelin Ness, it's
Mitchell
all
Ness,
jerseys,
Nike, all
hats.
on-field product, like in all of South Jersey and Philly area. I'm still gonna represent them because they're.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was talking about earlier, like they're just the homies, my boss, everybody. Like we're still super cool. I didn't leave on any bad notes. Like they were so supportive of everything I've done. So like, I love them. But yeah, they're like the #1 sports area, like #1 sports store in our area, and we're actually in talks right now of like kind of collaborating and. You know, I did a pop-up with them when I was working for them, and we did pretty well. We just did a random pop-up. I threw a rack of vintage up in the store one weekend, and, like, we killed it. It was just all vintage sports.
That's what's up.
They're realizing that the vintage wave is kind of on its thing, and, like, he just reached out to me recently and was like, hey, let's, like, start doing some stuff. And,
I was gonna say it's got to be a
and
gold mine
That's
to them to
awesome.
see that you can
there's some big stuff
transition like
going
that.
on. There's some big things, like, in the works with them right now, so it should be really cool.
Okay, hold
But
on.
like
That's-
before we get to that, like
Yeah.
we need to get to like now we know how you guys met.
Right.
Very interesting, Mr. Pittsburgh. But
Wait, as a follow-up,
But,
did
like,
you
how-
take the job in Cherry Hill from Pittsburgh? Did you move here for that job?
Well, I moved all around PA. I went from Pittsburgh to State College, Willow Grove, Wilkes-Barre, PA, and then I came out here to
So you're a
Jersey.
gypsy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, for the last
You're a
6-7
gypsy.
years. Yeah, I've been everywhere.
You're a gypsy. I get it now.
Yep.
But now that like we've established like how you guys met, like what was the foundation of this? Like where did this come from? Because
Past, present.
I'm repping.
Yeah, no,
what I
both of you
bought.
are.
1,000%.
So, I love this
appreciate-
place.
I appreciate it.
But
so
like,
much.
where did this come from for you? Because like you were like literally managing a store, probably
So-
having this great income that you needed at the time, but it's clearly not your passion.
It's a mixture of the two. I worked retail since I was 15 years old. I worked at Jimmy's for 10 years, or 7 years.
Oh shit! Wait, hold
Yeah, I
on,
was
real
from
quick.
I was with Jimmy's.
Wait, real quick. Can we turn off the AC?
Oh shit!
Totally
yeah,
forgot
yeah,
about
turn
it. No, you're fine. Keep.
He just has to go grab the cane.
No. Yeah, keep
So
going with the story.
I was with Jimmy's.
We
from,
talked about that an hour ago.
like 15 to like 21 or 22. I was with them for a good amount of years, and I loved retail. I loved what I did. When I was about right when I left them and got into the mix of Pro Image and all that stuff, when I was with one day I was just hanging out with my grandma, and she had to go to Social Security office in Glassboro, and there's a Goodwill right next to Glassboro. She asked me to take the ride with her. When I took the ride with her, I just went there, and I went to Goodwill, and I found a couple cool shirts that we actually sold at Zumiez. And I had always resold stuff. Since high school, I was selling candy bars. I was actually in trouble. I got suspended from high school for selling. Or it might have been middle school, but like I would sell candy bars.
Were you the kid at the locker with like, yo, I got
You were
Snickers
like,
bar 2
hold
for
on,
$5?
open it up.
My uncle would take me to BJ's, and we would buy like the $14 boxes that came with like 25 bars. Like it was like the value pack. And I would just take them to school and sell them for $1 a piece. And just,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I got in trouble for it. And like, I was always into fashion. That's one thing. Like, I was inspired by like older people. I was always into rap music. So since I was a kid, I was in 6th grade, man, wearing Jabots with 6XL t-shirts and like headbands. Like, there's pictures of me wearing like headbands and like a t-shirt you can tell is way too big for me. And
Yeah.
I'm way too young to be wearing that. But it's just how I dressed, and I liked it. And being into all of that and into fashion and working in retail with clothing, when I went to Zumiez and I saw a shirt, I always sold shoes in high school too. Once I got into high school, I started selling sneakers. And my buddies used to call my house J Knox Closet because like they would come to my house for the weekend instead of going to shop and go to the mall, because I had stuff that I would buy from work. I would wear it one time, sell it to them for half the price. I'd clean shoes for them. Like I did everything, anything I could do to make $1 and always hustle and like legally hustle and just do my thing to just like kind of make my way through just what I wanted to do and what I liked. I always loved that stuff. And then
So it's Zoomies. You're young. You're flipping in high school.
Flipping
So
in high
you're already like in retail.
100%.
Then you get inspo from grandma, which
so me and my
always getting
grandma
the
go to
best
Goodwill
inspo.
one day, or my grandma goes to Social Security office. At the time, I don't know if it's still there, but it was in Glassboro and right around the corner, right down the street. So when she went in there, it takes a couple hours sometimes. So I walked into the Goodwill, and I found a couple, like I think it was like a Huff T-shirt and like a Diamond Supply T-shirt, and it was like that was at the time like one of the hotter brands.
I remember that.
But that's like what we were wearing in high school and stuff like that. So I grabbed it
yeah.
and I bought them, and they were like, yo, these are $2. I sell these every day for $30 in the mall. Like
Yeah.
I can get these here? How? Like how is that even? I couldn't fathom it at the time.
Right.
So I would go buy them, and I would just keep them, and I would still sell them to homies, and I would just buy cool shirts that I liked, and just buy anything that I liked, and then kind of got put on to like one of my buddies. I forget exactly who it was, but they were like, yo, like there's some value in some of this stuff, and like it's stuff that I wasn't necessarily truly attached to, but like then you start learning and like you start finding really cool stuff. I made an Instagram, and I was like, I'm just gonna show what I'm finding at least, because if I don't like it, other people will like it. So I made an Instagram about it. I started showcasing my finds, and I mean, if you scroll back to all my posts, like you can see like the kind of dumb stuff I was posting. Like it wasn't necessarily the coolest stuff in the world. It was random, just whatever it was. But slowly but surely getting into like learning about the t-shirts, learning about the history about this stuff, not to mention the people that you meet, like where you get this stuff from. Once you start, I went to flea markets my whole life. That's one thing I did with my grandfather when we were kids. Like he took my first dog came from a Berlin flea market.
Your first dog?
My first dog from a guy.
I didn't even know you can buy animals out there.
There was a
I know.
guy-
You can buy a
I
dog
you
at
can
the
buy a
flea
dog.
market?
Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
sure.
That's the cool
Don't
part
don't
about.
tell me that
See, I
because I want a
forget.
dog too.
Right.
And
That's
we
the
already
cool
know how
part
I
about
get
flea
things.
markets is there was just a random guy walking around. This is probably illegal now. Like this is.
Yeah, we don't see him.
But I'm
We don't
saying,
see him
he
these
died
days.
when I was in 6th grade. So you're talking like I'm in 4th or 5th grade, 3rd grade maybe. But there was a guy walking around with a bunch of dogs on leashes, and they were for sale at the Bremen Mart outside.
Wow.
And my public asked me which one I wanted, and we picked them out. And that's how I got
Dude,
my
your
first dog.
your
Max.
grandparents are gangsters. This is a whole
100%,
side
dude.
Telling
note
you.
thing. He's just copping
My
dogs
public
off the
he was
street.
a G, man.
I was gonna say that's awesome, man.
He's
I
no
know I'm
joke.
super.
Vietnam vet, like you
Oh
weren't
yeah,
messing
yeah,
with
yeah.
him, bro.
But always getting a fit off.
Oh, dude, he's
For
the
sure.
man, bro.
Yeah,
He's
no,
the man.
grandparents are pretty. It's that difference. It's not that like parental
I wish I could raid their closets. Like, at this
relationship.
time,
Oh
like, you
man,
wish,
dude,
you know
when
what
I was in high school as well, and I would talk with my pop or something. My whole family's big on tennis. I mean, like Agassiz, like old Nike tennis jackets, and I was looking at that in high school, like. This is just sitting. When did you wear this? And he's like 1984. You know, like whenever I bought it, I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, but I like it, so I just I keep it in here." Like you are a fucking gold mine, dude. Like this is all just sitting here, and like specifically Nike tennis stuff. I was like, we're getting more and more deeper and deeper. But
Dude, the shorts
anyway.
I just got today were Nike tennis shorts.
Yeah, it's
They're
really
Agassi.
similar
There's
to a
an
guy.
Agassi poster right behind
saw a
you.
couple.
guys.
yeah, I was gonna say, man, the Agassi era of Nike. I felt like that's when I want to get back into YouTube. I feel like that's when color with Nike just popped. When that lava color and there's all this neon shit, you're like,
Did you watch that video we posted? Like that's
Oh,
all it
yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that whole bag I found today was
right.
and that's the thing. It was at a flea. Like you know what I mean? We found a random guy from Maryland that just had all that stuff. It's just, like, it's so
wild.
cool. Like,
Kind of similar to what you were saying. His
he
father-in-law
found someone who passed
was
away.
obviously
His
into tennis and
father-in-law or something like that passed
Thrifted.
away,
Really?
and just had so much good stuff like Adidas rugby, like really cool, just history. It's history
Unreal.
to me. That's another thing. It's,
Okay.
it's not just a T-shirt
Yeah.
sometimes.
So to circle back around, who
How
did
we
did
get
you
in?
then finesse
Okay,
Matt
so
to leave
while
his
we were at
job to do
Champs-
this?
So here's what happened. While we were at Champs
sort
one
of.
day,
Yeah, for the most part.
while we were at Champs one day, we both actually, being managers, you don't normally get holidays off together, and we both wound up getting 4th of July off. So it'd be, Matt was just like, we both looked at the schedule one day, and Matt was like, oh, I'm off. You want to come over? So I came over to Matt's house to barbecue with him. He had so many sneakers, and me, like, being more into vintage now than sneakers, I was like astounded to see stuff that like the Jordans I was wearing. He had 04 white, like pure money
Pure Moneys,
fours,
yeah,
like
yeah.
or 06, I believe that was the time period of
What
them.
year was this roughly?
This is
2017, and that was really the
Oh,
day.
Jesus.
Like
So
you could say, like we
so that's still
really bonded
hot
together.
gold.
Yeah.
You walk into this man's closet like,
Yeah,
what
so
is
this
this?
is 3 years ago, and
Yeah.
at the time he's just thinking they're old sneakers that he has, and I'm like, bro, these are 06 pure money fours. Like to certain people, these are worth something. To me, I love this because I had this sneaker when I was into sneakers, and I'm not into sneakers anymore. I'm more into the clothing and learning about that stuff. So we kind of just like right there, you could tell. And then he starts telling me about his closet and like what he has at home.
Yeah, me
in
being a little bit older.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I grew up in the '90s. I was born in 1985, so I had like a whole collection of stuff, and I'm telling him what I have, and he's like, "Yo, like, dude, like, this is worth
He's
some
telling
money."
me
Like, you know what I mean?
He starts
They're
telling me
like-
what he has, and we start becoming, I guess, friends. Like, and I'm like, yo, you're chilling every weekend doing nothing.
Right.
And I don't know what happened the first day we met, and I tell him this shit all the time. Like, I don't trust many people in my life. I don't allow a lot of people to come into my life, especially when it's something that I put my like. This went from a hobby to what you're standing in today. Like this was never expected. It was always my dream to have a store. I didn't know what kind of store, but it was never expected to be where we're at right now. And for me to let somebody into that was just like I wouldn't do that. But something happened with us, and I don't know what it was. Like the way we just clicked.
It's got to have natural chemistry at a
Yeah.
certain point
Exactly.
of
There's
of
like
being
4 or
able to
5
get
guys
along.
that when I was working with Champs that I met that had like and I just saw it in Joe. I connected him. I remember the first day we met and shook hands, and like I said that day, like I really saw something. Like I saw something in him. Like I knew he was all about it. You know what I mean? And I knew
for
like,
real.
And as we kept going on, like I was like, you know what, we can really do something here. Like I
Yeah.
can I just like he taught me a lot. He taught me about single stitch T-shirts,
Yes.
how stuff
People care about that, but
all
no,
over
that's-
prints.
that's a
Yeah.
mean-
And one
I
time,
was
with
gonna say.
the first time we went out to the flea market, I seen him pull like it was all over print Beatles. It was it Sergeant Pepper's T-shirt, like out of
I've
this
had this
grimy
t-shirt
pile of
before,
shirts.
yeah.
And he literally sold the shirt like 3 hours later, like after we got home, for like $150. And I was like, and he paid $1 for it. I
You
literally
were like,
was
oh,
yeah.
he's doing
I
something
was
right.
like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He's
So,
like,
yeah.
Joe, you look really good right now, dude. It's
Yeah,
like, I'm feeling this,
That's
bro.
the thing. It's like he's not from town, so it's,
Yeah.
he's just chilling on the weekends, and I'm like, you know what, bro, come with me. Like,
Oh,
let's
right,
go
because
out
you're
together.
you're still relatively new to
I'm
this
new.
area. He was relatively new
Yeah, I
in
mean,
general.
I still have to tell him where to go sometimes,
Yeah.
man. And he takes me the same places
Sure.
every week.
Jersey's a lot crazier than PA.
No, I was
No,
gonna
that's
say
true.
because
I'm born and raised in Violin. I still don't know all the streets.
Right.
It's horrible.
So it's fine.
out in
And all the
Pittsburgh, you could be in
highways.
Ohio in an hour. I mean, yeah, you're out in way different territory for sure.
Yeah. If we had to get on the highway, we were going to Pittsburgh. We were going somewhere. Here, it's like you're going 15 minutes down the street. You gotta get
5 minutes away.
right.
Right?
Yeah,
I think the
man.
highway's a shortcut.
Yeah.
Jesus. So then, okay, so you basically recruit each other to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean,
but
I walked
you're
out
out
of Champs,
first.
but I didn't. We didn't end that friendship.
Yeah, it wasn't any. Yeah, it
I
wasn't no
literally
bad
walked
blood.
out
or
on
anything.
his shift. He was my boss at the time, and I went on lunch and I said, "Fuck this! I'm not coming back." Like, there's something better inside of me than to be taking orders from them. What is, bro? Like, I just felt like they like swindled me in a way to get me to work there for what things were said to me of what was going to come,
Of course.
insurance wise, more of. And it wasn't what I was expecting, and I had left like my Pro Image. I didn't work for. They're not a corporate company, and they're really good people. And I didn't burn them bridges, like anything like that. When I left them, I left to go to not even to go to Champs to run this, but then I got a part. Like, you know what I mean? I went to Champs. When I walked out of Champs, it was to go full time with this. I didn't. I tried to, and it wasn't the craziest. And I wound up picking up a part-time job back at Pro Image, and I started working for them part-time. Me and Matt were still going to Fleas, learning, putting the like I.
You showed me how to
You
post on eBay and so on. Like you really.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
at that time.
Like-
eBay was there's a lot of people I met from eBay, and this is a time where like Instagram's nothing. I'm not selling on Instagram.
Right.
Instagram is just for
Say
fun.
social media
It's
really
just
isn't
cool.
isn't a
I
seller's
didn't have
market
really
yet.
a personal Instagram, so Instagram was just for me to like. I never liked personal stuff. The only reason I ever had a Facebook is one of my bosses made me make one for our business because I was their district manager, so I had to represent the business.
Okay.
So, but then I love Facebook now. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I go on it. It's where I get my news. It's what I do. Like,
You got
but
the
I
page on there. You got,
yeah, we got a
yeah,
past the present
Yeah.
page that I barely use. I'm sorry for that. If anybody follows-
Sorry,
Well, he
Zuckerberg.
did.
Sorry,
he
Zucks.
used it when he first started using Facebook too. Like that definitely helped. He was getting the word out there, and it was definitely hitting other people that he knew personally.
Yeah.
I feel like saw it more than and then the Instagram just grew and grew and grew. Like so.
Yeah, once Instagrams were blown, I started teaching him just like the ropes, how to learn about t-shirts. He's telling me what he has in his closet. He's like, "Oh yeah, dude, I was security for this the Steelers stadium, whatever whatever stadium that is." And he's like, "I seen Rough Riders
too.
live, and I have their T-shirt at home." And I'm
Right.
like, "What?"
Yeah, I went to the concerts.
understand
Yeah,
how
I
much
went to
that
these
t-shirt's
concerts
worth
back
right
in the
now,
late
bro? Like,
'90s and stuff. Yeah.
Can
Okay.
I buy it? Because I know it doesn't fit you if you had it in high school. Like, let me get that shit, bro. Like, what's up, dude? Like, so honestly, and like, this is like a huge. I thank him all the time. And I
Yeah.
tell people like two pieces in my two prized possessions in my collection are two shirts that I got from him that he literally went to the concerts, and it's a Rough Riders Cash Money rap T-shirt, long sleeve, and it's
The
Eminem
long sleeve?
up in-
Yeah,
yeah,
the
Oh,
up and
flex,
dope.
bro. You knew what you were
Yeah,
buying when
right.
you went up to that fucking
That's the
booth.
thing, man. It's
And the
like-
Up and Smoke tour to you.
and
That's
the
like
Up in
that's like
Smoke,
that's like the
Dr.
holy
Dre,
grail.
like, you
I
have,
think. Yeah.
that's the holy
that's
grail.
dope.
But
Ooh.
people love that shirt right now. And it's like,
Wow.
and this man like gifted them to me, and it's like, that's the thing. We just built this huge, great relationship, and
Okay.
we kept it going, and we kept it going. And I guess, like he said, and I didn't know this before he just said, I guess he saw something in obviously what we were doing.
Yeah.
I saw something once the Instagram started blowing up, and a year or two ago, I was asked to like do an event, and we did the event, and before I could even I start getting my stand set up.
Dominated the event, honestly.
Hold on, let me-
Hold on, he's like, he demolished
Complete
it.
domination,
Completely
bro.
trashed
So we do an
all the
event, and
other
it was
booths.
shout out to Golden Bear. This was
Yeah.
Golden Bear Vintage. He's from Philly, another homie. He invited us. He hit me up on Instagram. Was like, "Yo, dude, you're from the area, South Jersey. We're from Philly. We're doing a Love Vintage flea market." And he invited us to do this flea market, and it was just all vintage heads from the area. And I was like, I would love to do that. So, we're on the way there, and me and him didn't go to bed. Cleaned out
Yeah.
his car, packed the
Literally
entire car,
didn't sleep.
couldn't
Yeah,
see
we
out
were-
the back of it.
Yeah.
So we go to this little elementary school in Philly. All vintage vendors from the area. I don't remember everybody that was there, but shout out to everybody who was there. But I'm setting up the stands, and we got a big spot. We're setting up 6 racks. And this dude, before I can even set shit up, I'm pulling shit out the bags, and he's coming over. He's like, "Yo, how much are these?" And he buys this pair of shoes. And he's like, "How much is this?" And he starts I'm giving him prices. And that's the one thing about me. Like, my prices I try to be as fair as possible with everybody. I do this for the love. I love what I do. Once I fell in love with thrifting and finding that stuff, like, it was just the adrenaline rush. Like, I do this for a hobby. The picking, the flea markets are in my blood. Like, this is just genuinely what I love to do. So, like, my prices are extremely fair. And if you shop with me, you kind of know that.
I can definitely vouch.
Yeah,
I think actually all
we
of
can
us can
vouch.
vouch for being in
yeah,
this room.
exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
vouch.
You guys are fitted up, right?
Well, yeah, I was
Because
gonna
I
say.
have just
My
naturally
homie who-
expensive taste.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
so
Like,
I
this
know.
shirt is,
I
this
love
thing.
this
Yeah,
shirt.
that's-
Remember when
yeah,
you tried to
just
give it
spell it.
away?
I love that
I was like,
thing.
what are you doing?
Yes.
This kid who wound up being this is the best part about vintage, man. The connections I have made through what I do, and flea markets to thrifting to Instagram to going to these events is like, I have closer homies now than I've had for years. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm on an everyday basis with these people, and this person, I just met him, he's buying shoes off me. And it turned out being my buddy. His name's Nick. He's from Second Hand Grouse.
Yeah.
Who's homie
Yeah,
is
shout
Jeff.
out.
I
I've
shop
seen
on
Jeff.
I've seen his
Gerard.
page,
They're
yeah,
all my
yeah.
homies. Like, we first met this day at this vintage flea market called Love Vintage Flea, and since that right there, they all started buying from me. Every vendor at that place started buying from me, bro. Like, they cleaned us out. Like,
It started feeling like it was a busy day in a retail
you
store, so
couldn't-
we were
there
actually
wasn't
like
a
working,
time
and
where,
that's where like our
put it this way,
experience.
I
kinda
couldn't
came.
check out
Yeah.
other people's stands besides the
Yeah.
one kid next to me
Yeah.
because we were so busy.
That's awesome.
And that's like, I started getting a feel. Mind you, I've worked retail my whole life. I ran 5 stores at one time.
Yeah.
I know what it's like to run stores on holidays, to run stores on these days. I know what it's like to see that stuff. Like, just the fact that many people were there for vintage.
Right.
You kind of
Right.
get
Good
this
point.
feel of like, okay, cool. Like, these people are going out of their way to come here on a random Saturday of July. Like,
Right.
this is something. So the event really kicked an idea in my head. We need to start doing this, whether it's a pop-up, whether it's another event. The homies shop on Gerard threw up another event, so we started doing that, and we did that, and we killed it. And it was really good trades with other, but even if it wasn't just
Yeah.
sales, it was trades and connections and meeting people. It's like, if you get offered to go do something, and it's an event with 30 vendors or 10 vendors, and you're worried about the amount of customers there, and it's a $50 event, $100 event, pay that $100 to go meet those vendors, to connect with them, and
Yeah,
meet
even
with
if you don't
them,
sell anything, yeah.
and forget about selling anything. Look at it as like, I'm going to pay $100 to go do something today, and meet some people, and kind of like pick their. You never know who you're going to meet.
Yeah,
man.
of
And
course.
that's the coolest part about all of this, and we've just related with all these people, and then pop-ups came. It's like, okay, there's not going to be an event every day or every weekend, so I was asked to do a pop-up at a barbershop, and it's called Fade Barbershop. It's right down. It's literally a mile down the street.
Yeah.
I got asked to do this barbershop there, or pop-up there. It was in the middle of Christmas. We killed it. Like, I was there.
So I'm just curious, when you're at, because there's got to be something consistent. Are you showing up with overall better product? Like, how are you selling
That and
so
price. I
much
tried to base
better?
it off
Or is it the price?
I base off of where I'm at.
bit of both.
It's if I'm doing. We've done pop-ups at car events, so for that event, I curated a NASCAR-ish,
Right.
just towards that customer base.
You fit
but
that theme. Like, you know
I
who your
try to fit
clientele
him.
is.
So when we did the
Right.
barbershop, though, like, what are you gonna do for a barbershop? I don't have vintage scissor shirts. I don't have, you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm
Right.
doing like Run DMC.
But I did
Right,
just what
yeah.
I think is cool, and that's
Everybody's
another
into
thing you learn
music.
about the store.
yeah.
Another way of I don't do this for the money is I don't just buy anything to make $1 on it. I'll go pick out anything behind me, in front of me. I'll have some sort of, whether it's been picked up through thrifting but there's some sort of connection to it, and I like to look at it. I don't want things around me, even when we skipped the whole portion of past to present through before pop-ups and all that. I learned from Instagram and Facebook marketing. Things started picking up on Instagram. We started selling on Instagram. I got invited to join a Facebook group, and this kid from Cherry Hill one day was like, "Hey man, I run an eBay store. Can I come to your apartment?" And I had a 1-bedroom apartment with 2 racks set up in it for just my eBay store. This kid comes through, picks out a bunch of stuff, and spends like $500. I'm like, whoa, that's like.
Yeah, like you're just walking
my
in here and about to
paycheck.
drop bread.
That was
Yeah,
my
I
paycheck.
was gonna say.
And he
yeah.
did it in 5 minutes. there's something in this right now.
Yeah.
So I post on the Facebook group, hey, anybody in Philadelphia, Jersey, locals, come shop my racks. Make an appointment. I'll like reference check you, whatever. And another kid hits me up. My buddy Lucas from Retro Original Co., one of my homies now for 4 years, like hits me up and he's like, can I come through? And he comes through and drops a decent amount of money. And you're talking now, I just made double my paychecks in 2 weeks. Or in a week.
Right.
And that's when I started, like,
in an afternoon.
It went from 2 racks into a 1-bedroom apartment to now I need to get a bigger apartment for an appointment room.
Okay.
I bought a bigger apartment and made it the dining room.
You got an appointment room?
Dude, we can.
Baller,
if you
bro.
want, like, if you want me to send
so
you,
baller.
if you want me to send you pictures, like, I will literally send you pictures.
I would love
you
to see the
have such
pictures,
all of
man.
this
Yeah.
to where you can see the progression of like where it started. I used to sell at Berlin Flea Market.
Yeah.
I would sell there throughout the weekend and just get rid of like some random stuff. Like there was always a way that I was trying to move my product and get. And I mean, Past to Present was never really a brand at the time. It was just an Instagram name. I thought it was cool, Past to Present. There's other people that have similar names now that I'm into it and I've learned it. But like, I mean, I've stuck with it because I love it. Matt helped create the logo of it. Like, it's just
awesome.
he's a
Great
graphic
logo.
designer on the side
Yeah,
too.
man, the logo
Great
is,
logo.
Yeah, he already had the the Back
Had
to
the
the
idea,
Future.
just like
yeah.
I mean, it's a play on the
Yep.
Back to the Future stuff, but it's just like
Of course.
it makes great sense. Like we're literally taking the past to the present, and obviously other people have thought about it, but it's just something that I've truly stuck with. I thought about changing the name 100 times. I'm actually gonna say it right now just to get it out there.
Okay.
Because if anybody ever comes out with this name, Mad Villain Vintage was one of my names I was gonna
Right.
change it to.
It's a good name, too.
And that's for MF
I have
Doom.
logos on my
Shouts
computer.
to MF
Love
Doom.
that, yeah.
But that's one of my favorite rappers. Like,
Yeah.
Mad Villain, like there was a play on that. If you have,
So that's
obviously-
off the
Yeah.
table.
That's off the
Right.
table.
If it ever comes up
But
later,
if it
you
ever
can
comes
reference
up,
this
it
moment.
came here first, just so everybody knows.
Interested, like when you look at your relationship from a business perspective, like what, like as Matt, like what are you bringing to the table? Is like a harsh way to put
Well,
it.
basically,
but,
yeah,
like, what's the
basically-
relationship between the two of you?
Well, like I said, we started going to the flea market literally every single Sunday and some Saturdays and Fridays. I was going to the he got me into thrifting, and it was awesome. It's a hobby now for me, and I love it. To be able to go out and find things, it's like treasure hunting. And actually, like I said, like I tried to sell some shoes on eBay like prior, like probably 6 years before we met, and it just wasn't. I was like, I got frustrated really fast. I was like, oh, I gave up on it. But he like really like showed me like if you take the right pictures, the right post, you can actually like make a living off of this. And I started to like learn that and see that you can pick a shirt up for $2 at the thrift store and come home and sell it for $50 to $100.
Right.
And I'm
Yeah.
glad the whole TikTok thing and everything's out because it's not a secret anymore. It's a known thing, and that's the cool part. Like we were really like not to take it, but like we were doing this before it became like a.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
of course.
I created.
You definitely got to have a leg up on people if you have an entire
I mean,
store
that's what
worth
I'm
of
learning
stuff.
now.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
look at myself in any type of way. Like I just do what I love, and that's just
Right.
I'm so happy to be able to do what I love and be
Yeah.
able to post every day what I love. And I was able to leave my job to do what I love with full support from my boss. Like when I told my
Yeah.
boss, like he knew it was coming. Like,
Loved it.
I
He was
literally
like, I was
offered. I was like,
waiting.
"Yo, let me take you and your girlfriend out to breakfast this week." And he's like, "Look, dude, you can take us out to breakfast, but we can have this fucking conversation now."
Was
Like,
it the
my man just
same?
bought me a bottle of champagne for
Yeah.
my ribbon cutting ceremony. Like,
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean,
you know what I
that's-
mean? Like, and
not
shouts
gonna get
to
better than
Rob
that.
for that. Like, he's the fucking man for that, man. And like, it just means so much to me for the support I've gotten from even the people that come into here, and I try to show that every single day with this. I ask you how you found out about us, and like the best thing is like, oh, my homie was here yesterday and shared you on his Instagram, and we saw a story, and like,
Yeah, man.
dude, people drive from New York to come here. We've had people drive from like 4 or 5 hours away. That's one of the main things I ask you: where you from? What are you doing? I don't look at people as a customer, I guess you can say. One of the things
Yeah.
I'll give Zoomies credit for this too. Like I feel like I'm giving everybody credit, but I've absorbed everything I've learned over the years, and I've tried to just when my selling style, why I've made it to the top of every company I've ever worked for. My selling style is adapting, and I adapt to the customer I'm working with, and I take a piece from here and I take a piece from here and I take what I've learned from there and I put it all in one, and I made my own selling style. And anybody can walk into a door and I can sell to them, and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I noticed like I was saying, like 4 or 5 people that can really sell anything to anybody, and that was one of the things that I seen in him.
Right.
You know
so
what I
when
mean?
when you were coming on board, was
Right.
it the same response from Champs when you were like,
Yeah, definitely. That's
You were
where I
like,
saw
I'm
it.
gonna do
Yeah,
my own
like he
thing.
would always be having like deep
became
conversations and
Matt,
like all
that's
that.
where
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
the original question. Matt became my right hand. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can
Right.
see that.
He
Yeah.
I
it
love
became
that.
from like I guess I don't want to call it like it came from teaching him because I liked to teach him because I wanted him to learn and have fun with me and come out with me to him coming out with me every weekend. You know, we didn't live far apart. He'd pick me up. He'd drive me to the fleas. Like we didn't have to
at
waste
the end of the
gas
day, you
on
gotta
food.
like
Right.
being with each other.
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
day
Yeah,
long.
yeah, we're with each other
still
like
getting used to
24/7.
it.
The best part is, man,
It is.
like,
It's
if
a
you
working
come to the shop,
relationship.
and I feel like I've been really harsh. Like I bust his balls all day, dude. And I'm like such. I was saying before this, I'm like, guys, I'm such a like. I don't want to be so mean, like, but like, nah, dude. Like I love.
It's all
Like,
right.
there's.
I'm thick-skinned,
we-
you know.
He really is though. Like no doubt. Like anybody that like took the wrath I gave him would throw me right through that window.
Okay,
I'd be gone.
got it.
But he's really just like.
But
such
is
a good
it? But is
sport.
it also because you're like what? What is it for you?
Well, yeah, getting back to that, like I created my own Instagram, and every time I would make a post, I would just shout out his page. I'd be like, follow Pastor President. I still do it to this day. So and plus every eBay sale that I made, I slid one of the business cards in. So like it's really like eBay's like a big like online seller.
He did that
That's
without
like,
me knowing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
bro.
I
didn't
mean,
know that he
yeah.
was doing.
So I was writing notes. I was like, thank you. I was like, follow Pastor President on Instagram, like doing that for the past 3 years. So like,
Wow.
Just trying to help.
So it
him
seems like
any
you
way
got
I
that
could.
the biz. Well, you both have the business acumen, but
Yeah.
you're definitely
I mean-
bringing that to the table. Because if you're saying you didn't even know, that's just like a natural thing that
Right.
you just.
We
I don't
ran
think most
biz-
people would think
we
to
ran-
Yeah,
push
most
the
people don't just,
business.
like,
I mean,
throw that
don't
out
like.
there.
I was just Matt ran Champs multi-million-dollar stores.
I was gonna say that's
dude.
a
Like,
huge brand.
I
man.
ran small.
Well, that's why you're a gypsy.
Right, yeah, exactly.
Dude,
Yeah,
this
I
man
like to move
traveled
around. I
and
like-
traveled
yeah.
and traveled,
Getting
and
that bread.
He's killed it, dude. Like, and that's I think another different thing we bring to the table is we both have really good retail background and visual marketing, and when it comes to that, and just the most important thing is customer relations. Like, we can talk to anybody, and we can, I'd like to say nobody's walked in this door and left here with like a fuck you attitude. Like we try to
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
that love, and we built the store out for that love, and
Absolutely.
that's
We even
just something-
collabed on his like little clothing line too. Like
Don't
we
bring
were
that
putting that
shit
up.
up.
No,
You got that out
hey,
there.
no, it's cool. We did everything.
So that's coming too.
Yeah.
No,
We worked.
I was gonna
we,
say,
we
are
did
you-
past the present
well,
merch, man. and
Yeah, is there a
the
private
first
label?
Blessed or
drop,
Possessed,
like,
that was his
sold
name.
out in a day, and it was really cool. And like I wanted to play off.
Is
it,
that
but
something you want to do in the future? Like
all day
make
there's
those.
Yeah.
going to be like in store. So right now, where I have a buddy, actually one of my like people that I have get me a bunch of stuff. It's another thing, dude. We have people out here like we're like giving kids out here paychecks. Like we buy sell trade. Obviously, most vintage shops do. Kids can go to thrift store all day. You can go to thrift store all day. You can go to thrift store all day. All of you can go thrift. If you find some stuff that I like and you pay $3-4 for it, depending on what it is, I'll pay you well more than double.
Yeah,
your
and that's
money,
how it started
obviously.
out too. I used to find stuff and I would just I'd be like, here,
He'd
is
sell
this
it to
good?
me.
Like, yeah.
And then I'm selling it on eBay.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's a big mixture. And then how I got really big in the game, obviously, is I wholesale to a lot of people. And like don't get me wrong. If I have a $500 T-shirt, which we've had, and there's some up there,
Yeah.
I'm going to be around market on it. But if the last sold I seen was 600, I'm selling it for 5.
Right.
Because I want you to want to shop with us.
Yeah.
And if I'm making a couple bucks on it, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's been times where people are in here and they pull out a shirt or they see something and they just have this. You can see it in their face, the connection they have with this shirt. And I'm like, dude.
Happened
take it
today
for
with the guy
20
with the
bucks.
movie. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Guy remembered
It's
the movie.
funny that you
watched,
both
like,
said that.
16
We
years.
were just with my parents like earlier this afternoon, and they, for whatever reason, they're like, "Oh, you're gonna go finally do the podcast." I was like, first of all, finally, I definitely like talked to him like maybe a month ago. I relax. I'm working as fast as I can. But my mom said it in a very good way. She was like, "Oh, so the business model is everybody eats," and I was
Okay.
like,
Yeah. She
"Yes,
told me that.
That's
mom,
my big
that
thing.
is actually pretty true. I think that is right."
That's why I don't mind telling
Yeah.
them talking about. Like, I don't care. Like, obviously, people know. And
Well, you know that you're buying. Everyone's buying it for less than what you valued it as until it ultimately
What do you
does get to
think a
here.
store
But you're
is?
still not.
Yeah.
Right.
You're
what
not
do you think you do
robbing.
when you
them.
go to the mall? You think those people, like,
Oh,
they're
yeah, forget
making
about it.
margins on that
You see
stuff,
it
or
yourself
else
when
they
you buy
wouldn't
that
keep
when you buy
their
that Diamond
lights on.
Supply
Yeah.
T-shirt for
Yes.
$2. You're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah,
so
right.
someone will
You know
buy
what I mean?
this. Yeah.
That's the thing that's happening, and it's just, I don't know. It's crazy, man. And
Yeah.
there is so much out there for us to learn, and I don't care how many people go out to the flea market every weekend. You know, you've seen it gradually progress over the past couple of years, and I guess for like where we're at, like I've been doing this a while, but dude, there's people that I know that have been doing this way longer than me, and that are way, way, way deeper into this than me, and they're good friends, and they're really killing it, and I look to them as inspiration, and you've seen it progress over the years. I was one of those new ones at the point, you know what I mean? Who's this new kid coming to the flea market? Who's this guy? I mean, no matter where you go now, but I don't mind sharing it because me and him go to the flea market still every weekend. We go to thrift stores still every day as much as we possibly can, and we still find stuff.
If Sean Witherspoon's still going to the flea, everybody better still be going to the flea, bro. That's what I'm talking about. But from that point, I just think because there's going to be a lot of, you referenced a lot of, you know, I mean, still younger kids, maybe like mid-20s somethings like us, that are doing this. But like, what's a work day look like for you guys? Is it really like a weekend grind, like you were saying before? Like, hey, we were here in the morning, here at night. Do you have that built up? Like, break it down for someone who's like, I want to open a store. What's it really take
now
to do it? Yeah.
If you want to open a store, expect a lot of the unexpected. It's a lot that I wasn't expecting. And I didn't do this with thousands and thousands of dollars in my bank account. I got really lucky with where I picked out and having the foundation. And we talked about that earlier.
Yeah.
Shouts to Pro Image again for helping me out with a lot of this product.
It's all who
Not
you
the
know,
product,
for sure.
But the shelving you have. And that's where it goes to don't burn bridges in your life. You know, if you have good connections and you don't have a reason to, these people didn't do you dirty, don't do them dirty. And I'm very big on morals. I don't sell certain things now just because of things that are going on in the world and certain stuff like that. Like, I'm very big on my beliefs, and my job never did me dirty, so I wasn't going to do them dirty. And when I left the first time, I left respectfully they took me back. And for them to take me back the second time, and now I left the third time to actually, you know what I mean, to go do what I'm actually going to go do.
Yeah.
And he's like, whatever you need, let me know.
Yeah. I think young
now
kids,
they're coming to him for advice. Like,
now they're coming to me for inspiration.
Young kids miss
and
that,
advice,
man.
And I was trying to push it on them for years, and they weren't they weren't about it. And but that's the one thing, you know. And the things that are in the works right now are things that like me and Pro Image were doing. Like me, as I was a buyer for them, I dealt with New Era. I've dealt with Mitchell and Ness. You're talking meetings every week. Like, I've been in the scene of fashion for a long time, but my heart's always been with vintage. And you know, I've always tried pushing what I love onto them, and they weren't always for it. And I think now they're finally coming around, and I love them for it, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
I think it also plays into like respects of, in order to stay relevant, like you have to be relevant. Right. So seeing where this is going, like I've seen like thrifting become huge. Like it's boomed. Like
it's the coolest thing in the world now.
It's amazing.
It's the coolest thing in the world now. If you don't thrift, you're not cool, man.
Yeah.
Well,
which is
good.
good.
That's what I've learned over the past couple of years.
I was like, I guess I'm not that cool because I thrift from you. But no, I think it's amazing that they're even allowing that bridge to kind of open, because you can tell that they still want to be relevant, and they're reaching out to the connections that you've made to stay relevant for them and their clientele, which is absolutely amazing. And I'm glad they helped you out, because
they've done so much for me, and I've learned so much from them with business and just learning. They're a private company, so I was able to see some of the behind the scenes stuff. I've ran every POS system. I know how to run POS systems. Like, they've taught me so many different things. And you know, when you're running multiple stores, that's another cool part of why I can relate with a bunch of customers. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have been in stores for multiple years, but when you run a store in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and then you run a store in Philadelphia Mills, PA, there's differences.
Very different.
Way different.
Or when you go to these stores and you frequent these stores and you're there all the time, there's different customer bases. There's different people you have to learn to work with, and that's something I'm blessed to be able to like run with and like pick up and take with me. And with the people that come here, it's really cool because we have people from everywhere come.
Right.
And
so with the different, because like you're saying, you're going back and forth with it. I'm just curious, like style wise, are you just going back with both? We can start with Matt. Like, is it hats? Is it vintage sports shit? Is it sneakers? Like, what's your thing?
See, like, ever since growing up, I was always into sports. Sports was my thing. Like, that was the biggest thing I was into. Had a huge, like, NBA champion jerseys are huge right now, and that's a big thing in the vintage community. I had a ton of them growing up. I mean, I'm a Cowboys fan. Like that's not big here.
Cowboys
Philly, I
are
know.
We're gonna throw it out there.
You know, but I used to
Okay.
wear.
That's right.
wear
Stamp it, bro.
every jersey. Like I mean, it didn't matter. Like I was Bulls, Cowboys, Pirates, and Penguins because I'm from Pittsburgh. So like I cut the Steelers.
All
out,
great
but-
resale brands.
Yeah,
for sure.
exactly.
Yeah.
Excellent
but-
choices.
But
yeah.
I had jerseys from every team. I didn't care. Like I would wear jerseys. Like that was my thing. Like to wear to school. Like you know what I mean. I felt like the coolest kid in school. Of
course.
You know what I mean. But
So heavy jersey,
yeah.
throwback.
yeah. So
Well, I guess
my,
not in the moment, but you
yeah.
were still
My
into it.
knowledge lies largest in the sports stuff, and that's what I like to pick and find and.
Okay.
He's my
you know,
sports
that's-
guy, dude.
Yeah, that's not always.
See,
like
yeah,
his-
that's what I wanted
you
to
know,
tap
he-
into.
you know,
It's like
that, yeah.
between
He
the
does-
two of you.
Right.
So
Here's the
you're pulling a
problem.
lot of sports stuff.
Right.
That's the
Yeah.
go-to.
Here's
Okay.
one of the issues, like working with sports for so long, doing what I've done.
Yeah,
It's
not his forte.
It's just like I've seen it for so long, and whether it's 90s or not, don't get me wrong, I love sports.
Yeah.
I love watching my football. I love watching sports, but I love champion. I love basketball jerseys. I like seeing something. I love it. It gives me that nostalgic feeling, but it's not what you know what I mean. I grew up wearing, like I said,
Yeah.
when I
What's
was,
so right with you? What's the go-to? Is it the SBs?
now. Yeah, I mean, I'm still like you knew me. You know,
Yeah.
you're talking before the SB hype. When we met, we originally met from buying a pair of SBs.
I'm
off
buying
you
SBs
when
at
SBs
Zumiez for
weren't-
$80.
No one cared. No
Yeah,
one cared
it's
about these things. I
unbelievable.
was getting them at the outlets for $30. No one gave a shit. But that's what I like to wear because I worked at a skate shop. I love that stuff. I like to have stuff that people in school weren't wearing. Bro, I resold Jordans and would literally have homies be like, "Why are you wearing those, dude?" Because I like them. Like,
Right.
I don't care about these.
Okay.
I like these. I love Jordans. I like the OG Jordans. I had a really good OG Jordan collection because it's what I grew up with. 06. You're talking when I'm in high school. I graduated 2011. So when I graduated 2011, I wanted to get shoes I had in 04, 05, 06 just because I wanted them, not because they were vintage and I cared about them. It was because I wanted them for my own personal collection. I collected ice creams for a while, dude. Like,
Ice
I still
cream.
there's
Boy.
all right, ready? Like,
FBC,
you're not gonna see
baby.
it, but there's a fake pair of ice creams up there from the flea. Because when I got my ins at the flea, man, like I was going to the flea market in middle school to buy fake ice creams because obviously I couldn't afford $200 to buy a pair in 8th grade
Yeah.
with my Jabots and my 6XL LRG T-shirt. Like that's what I wore. Like that was my style. I wore big jerseys. I was influenced by rap. I have just gotten put on to Van Halen over the past couple years and learned. My mom, before she passed and everything like that, was super Metallica, Meatloaf. Like I buy those shirts now because of her, and now I appreciate that music. I didn't when I was in 8th grade. I was like, if you tried playing that, dude, no way. If it wasn't like what was like, I was a rapper.
If it ain't that
I was a-
Chameleonaire banger,
Dude,
you're not playing that. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like I was a huge just rap guy, and I didn't care for any of that things. But now I really, really like. That's where I respect vintage, and I'm.
Oh yeah. It's also easily the best tour designs.
Dude,
They're
half the
best
music-
T-shirts. Not
half
even
the music we
close.
play today is '90s rock, to be honest,
Yeah.
or '80s rock. Like that's what
love
we.
the 90s.
I was gonna
'cause
say,
now I really
who holds the
appreciate it.
who holds the
the
aux
90s.
in here? Is it always you?
I mean, I do. Just,
Okay.
I mean, that's what
The couple
they-
times
aux
I've
or
seen you in here,
VHS,
bro,
dude,
and he's
it's
got the YouTube
Yeah.
boom, and he's got the playlist with the cue. I'm like, my man is not
Yeah.
fucking around right now.
Listen, I was always rap up until college. Once I got into college, I started exploring rock, and that's where I was like, oh wow,
I'm
what
still
I
a
mean?
rap head, by
I
the way.
love,
For sure.
I
that
love
on the
rap.
record.
I kind of got stuck in, but I'm stuck in my generation. You know what I mean? Anywhere from Eminem to Tupac, Biggie,
you.
like early
Yeah.
MC Hammer was that was my first like cassette tape that I ever had, Too Legit to Quit. But like once I hit college, I was like, okay, I started like just exploring, music and
Yeah.
starting to listen to like bands like Slipknot and stuff like that. And now I'm like really into rock. So like I do tend to like that's kind of like
Well,
what
you
I'm-
know, but with music
listening to
nowadays,
now.
man, with like
Yes.
Spotify and stuff, you can be
You
be
mix it
into
up.
whatever you want any
Yeah.
day. You don't have to go to the store anymore to buy that. As soon as you're interested in it, you can go.
right.
I mean, I have a side note though.
Oh yeah,
Anybody that is dating anybody and you don't know what a cassette tape is, they're too young for you.
yeah, that's 1,000%.
Hold on.
I was
They're
impressed
too
that you
young
had
for
the
you.
cassette tape, bro.
Walkman.
Yeah,
You don't
exactly.
know?
Yep,
Too young
that
for
was
you.
I was
yep.
Walkman.
Gotta put that in there.
I definitely had the walk.
I definitely did too with the
1,000%. What? Holding it like
Walking
this?
Yeah.
Walking into school?
Yeah,
walking
right.
down the
You're
street
riding in a
with my
car
shit
and
like
hit a
this?
bump and
Yeah, you can't put it in your pocket. You can't put it. Do you remember You remember when you used to buy a backpack and it had the little hole in the back that you could thread your
Oh,
headphones
yes.
through?
It's like a
to go through there.
headphones.
Oh,
Like,
dude, you couldn't tell me nothing. I was Jeff Bezos. Like,
Hoodies too.
I got
they started doing the
everything, bro.
hoodie. Yeah.
Oh, they did do the
Yeah,
hoodie.
like
Oh,
in the
yes,
pockets.
I
yeah.
remember that
And,
too.
yep.
Holy shit.
I mean, even now you can go buy a hoodie with a headphone sleeve.
Right.
With a sleeve to come up to here.
No, but you remember how clutch those were in high school.
were.
Where you're, oh yeah, I'm just chilling.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but I'm about my bars. That's why.
Dude,
I'm
that's
all here, bro. So I wanted to ask you guys a question because everything that you have in here is like, what's your both of your opinions on when Virgil Abloh gets his hands on an Air Jordan 1, right? Like, I get it, right? We all think it's cool and it's great and it's really fun because it's a new thing and that's fine and you can buy it. I'm not shitting on you for having it. No. Would we all love to have a pair? Sure,
Probably.
I would love to have a pair. But what's your perspective on that nowadays? Because it makes it so difficult where if some kid walked in here with a pair of Dior 1s and he's like, I want $15,000 from you, it almost kills the resale game, right? Yeah. It's like when he gets his hands on something like that, you have to be in a round 2 store in Hollywood because there's got to be some kid who's here from Dubai with his family with $15,000 on an Amex to buy this card. So for you guys, when you see, major celebrities, as a side note, right? I have a pair of Newcastle SBs. Yeah. Dude, when Travis Scott...
I had 3 pairs 3 months ago and sold them for $250 a piece, so I don't want to hear about Newcastle.
I literally seen that shoe like 4
And
times.
Shane, our mutual friend,
Okay, so
right? He texted me, sent me a picture. He's like, dude, the value on these on StockX just went up 6,000% in 30 minutes. I was like...
You just asked me the question where all the hate's going to come in.
Yeah, I want to know. What's your real opinion on this?
This is where the hate's going to come in.
Yeah.
I don't mind anything from a business aspect. I understand everything from Nike SB standpoint to every influencer or whatever you want to call them standpoint. I got out of the sneaker game when Yeezy started being the cool sneaker because I genuinely didn't
Nike
like the
Yeezy 1s like first.
Oh yeah,
More like a
wow.
When it became like it just became a harder. I mean, dude, I've waited in line for shoes. I've camped out for sneakers. I camped out for SBs when no one cared about an SB. And I love all of that stuff, and I love the culture behind it, and I really do. But that's where the issue comes into play. There is no the culture got killed. The fun for camping out for it's all digital. It's all bots. It's all you're fighting for this and you're fighting for that, and you're only fighting to go make $1. I remember skate shops that when the Tiffany SB dropped, you had to do a fucking kickflip to get the pair.
I heard that back then too.
And
yes.
They didn't want resellers grabbing that. Right. And that's where like the love comes into play. Is like they only wanted people that love that sneaker to grab that sneaker. And I don't mind Travis. I don't mind Virgil. And when they do what they do, I'm out of the. That's one thing I'm learning owning a store. You have to have hype. You have to have some of the hype stuff. I was wearing Supreme again when Supreme wasn't the coolest thing in the world, and I wasn't on it forever. My buddy that worked with me at Zoomies is like, yo, dude, I get these hats every Thursday, and I'm like, you sit on a website for hats? Like, why? And then I wound up picking up a couple shirts, and I wore it for a little bit, but like, I never jumped on the wave, and and then it got really cool, and it started like, I never got onto it, but I'm learning. It's still it's what people like. It's what the younger generation likes, and
they're
looking at people. I'm coming to this realization right now, and you can kind of break down what I've talked about earlier. I was wearing 6XL t-shirts because Jay-Z was on a video doing it, so I can understand why they want this stuff.
Right.
And if Jay-Z was doing it back then, I probably would have wanted. There's a size 18.5 S. Carter's right there.
Yeah.
Right. And I bought that sneaker for display right here. God, I don't know whose they were, if they were displayed. There's a Yao Ming that's a size 18.5. Hopefully, Yao Ming, if you see this, let me know if they're your sneakers.
They're his size.
That's a Reebok promo, and they're his size. So like, it's
are those
cool.
they're
They're literally
promo Yao Ming?
I don't know.
issue,
They're
like
size
Yao
8.
Ming
They're a Yao
they're-
Ming player issue sneaker, and that's an S. Carter that came out around the same year. I don't know if that's a gift, like, you know what I mean? He just dropped his first sneaker here. Rock these for us too. Whatever. Besides the point. I owned S. Carter's back in the day, and obviously I owned G Units, and if you didn't own G Units, you're lying to me because
Yeah.
or
Bro,
you
I had a
didn't
black
like 50
and
Cent.
a white pair.
Well, I love 50 Cent, but I didn't like
the game. Still to this day is one of my favorite. Maybe not like I love the game.
Oh yeah.
I had Hurricanes, and a lot of people don't even know what Hurricanes are, and that was one of his sneakers. Like, I was always influenced by the people I was watching, so I can't hate on anybody for wanting the off-whites because they like Virgil. Can't hate on anybody, but like, I just get annoyed with the resale value, and that's why I'm not a sneaker shop. I'm a vintage shop. And, you know, you had Fear of God and whatever Jerry do his things on vintage shirts, and that was really cool. And I respect everybody's hustle, man. I don't, like you said earlier, it goes back to everybody can eat, and you know what I mean? It's like, I don't care what you're doing, and I respect you for a business aspect. It's just if I'm not into it.
Yeah, that was all the question was, like, personal wise.
If I'm not into
what you're
it,
rocking.
I'm not into it. Like, I don't wear that stuff.
Okay.
I wear what I like. I wear old skateboard stuff. I wear a lot of old rap stuff.
Okay.
I wear my wrestling collections. I'm doing a video I'm going live next week with my homie Jersey Goodies, who I met through Vintage.
Okay.
Another homie, Knick-Knack Vintage, who I met through events. We're going live. We're all from New Jersey, and they asked me this weekend, do you want to showcase your wrestling collection with us? We know you have a decent wrestling collection. We would like to see that. So next week we're going live on Thursday, and we're going to show our wrestling collection. I'm going to show my personal wrestling collection. I might even throw a few pieces out on the page after that to be like, hey, like, take a piece of, like, something I truly love. Yeah. I'm going to throw it for sale, and if anybody's interested in it. Wrestling's hitting right now, and everybody loves wrestling.
Wrestling is hitting right now, for
Yeah.
sure.
90% of what we play on the
strange.
VHS player and the TV over there is wrestling all day. It's just, that's what I grew up watching.
Okay.
Cartoons. My cartoon collection is pretty decent. Like, I wear what I like, and that's another thing I'd like to portray to, like, just kids growing up nowadays. It's like, wear what you like, because you're going to regret not wearing what you like.
Yeah.
Dude, there was stuff that I wanted to wear. All right, ready? Sauconys.
Yeah.
My mom, who passed away, wore Sauconys.
Oh.
And I wore Sauconys or Saucony, whatever you want to call them.
I was going to say,
I grew up like Sauconys.
I was going to say, is that how you say that? I'm not
I
sure.
don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up hearing it as. So I grew up hearing it as that. And I always thought, like, oh, I'll never wear these to school. Like, they're not Jordans. They're not Nike SBs, like, whatever. And then, like, fucking 3 years later, Saucony, 86, everything's, like, the coolest shit in the world. And, like,
Ronnie Fag gets his hand on it, and,
I just tell people all the time, like, just stick to what you like, stick to what you do. If you have a passion, follow that shit.
Yeah.
Because you never know what the fuck it, like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
absolutely. Are you are you similar in that point of view?
I'm the same
Is
way.
there any hype?
Right. I barely know who Virgil is and all that. I mean, I know Off-White and all that.
That's where
I'm not into that stuff. I mean, it's not my time. Like I'm stuck in the 90s. I'm stuck in the sports, you know, even the band tees. Like, it's cool to see the band tees. Like, that's the thing. I never did wear too many band tees. I went to the concert, like one of a few rap concerts, and I would buy a T-shirt and I wore it, but I wasn't wearing, you know, I grew up listening to like Pearl Jam and all that, Marilyn Manson, but I didn't really rock the shirts. So
It's a different thing to get into. And like what you were saying is it makes it really difficult because, I mean, man, my mom looked at me crazy when I wanted to buy 3 pairs of Olympic 6s at the Deptford Mall. And she was like, these Jordans are $95 or whatever they are. Like, this is crazy. You're going to spend all this money on these shoes that you're not going to wear. And now I show her prices for stuff because my mom used to take me to New York every year for my birthday, and her deal with me is, I'll buy one shoe and you buy the other, which is one pair of shoes, okay? One pair. But even then, I was like convincing her that $200 for a pair of Nike SBs, she was like, this, okay, like, I guess this makes sense.
It took me a long
now I
time.
show her stuff now, and I'm like, look at these Jordans now. These ones in my closet, they're worth, bless you.
Sorry.
They're worth $1,200. I'm like,
Sneakers are
see what that is? And she's like, it still doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't have to be a hot take, but it's just your perspective on it, because the questions I'm about to ask you, we go back and forth on with stuff that I wear all the time.
Okay.
So, just in general, we'll start with Matt. I want both of you though.
You're good. I'm very
How do you
honest.
feel
I'm, like, very
on?
interested.
How do you feel on? This is going to trigger her. White socks.
Man.
white Nike socks, yeah. If they got a Nike check on them, yeah.
Like,
but-
is a white sock appropriate in a fit?
oh, yeah. Yeah.
You're feeling it.
Yeah.
Not shorts. I'm talking like you're wearing white socks. Like, if I was wearing this fit all black and I
He would
had
wear white socks.
white socks
Like
on
what?
with this fit, How are you feeling about
Like
that?
these skinny ass jeans
Give 'em
with
your
high
Look,
white
man,
socks.
I don't
and
pretend
a
to be
black-
You're
Rough.
asking the wrong
Hold
person.
on.
And you're gonna learn
Hold
why
on.
you're asking the
Okay.
wrong person.
I'm
Go
not
ahead.
the biggest
'Cause you
style
do
guy,
it.
so like,
Well, I have to
especially
see.
now in my older
You'll see.
age, like,
Oh.
wear what you want to wear. I mean, like I said, if I'm gonna wear white socks, usually they're gonna have a Nike check on them or some kind of brand. But it don't. I mean,
Okay, so you're indifferent to the white sock.
Yeah.
It's not going to bother you.
definitely. I do wear the
So,
black Nike socks.
Like I said,
yeah.
you're asking the wrong person.
Which is the black Nike socks was like the Fab Five from Michigan. Like, and that started when I was
Okay.
in 6th grade. Me and my buddies, we all wore black Nike socks, and we pulled them up as high as we could.
So if I'm wearing
that was like-
non-Nike white high socks,
Then you're trash.
is it regardless of what Adriana thinks?
Listen, if you can pull it off, you can pull it off. I've seen people pull off some stuff. Like it's your own.
You know what?
style.
For me, it's like a color blocking thing. I look at myself and if I look in the mirror and I'm like, I'm wearing all black down to the fucking socks. Like, Jesus, this is
Yeah.
there's so much black here.
That's
Or there's
not
so
fully
much
true.
blue. Like you
You
can just
wear
kind of
rainbow.
give it a little pop of some color. But I respect that. Okay, what?
Right.
I'm very curious.
So
What's
you're
the
asking the wrong person
perspective?
because I have like very sensitive skin, and I had like a skin issue. Like I have a cut on my thumb, right, like on my finger right now, and it's because of like dyes and clothing
Got it.
and dyes and socks. So I was recommended by a dermatologist a long time ago. Only white boxers, white socks.
Oh, see?
Still to this day, white.
So it's a
boxers,
health
white socks.
concern as well.
But-
That's
Yeah,
why I should be
but
wearing
you
it.
don't
No,
have that
I'm
health
not gonna
concern.
be. This is where
He's like, but you
All
look
I
fucking
used to
trash if you
wear-
wear them though.
all I used to wear before that. I was like, it was hard for me to convert from black socks to white socks. I can't lie. I only used to wear black
Right,
Nike
that's
socks
me. I
with
only wear black.
everything. Shorts, pants,
Unless they're Harry Potter.
black Nike socks.
But okay, so here's another big thing that triggers me. How do you, because I think nowadays it's become cooler, but how do you feel about Nike shoes, Nike socks, Adidas shorts,
No.
I'm weird.
and a vintage tee, and you're wearing, a Shaq was here hat? Like, how are you feeling about the cross brand fit?
I don't like to do Nike and Adidas. That kind of bothers me.
Yes.
But
Okay.
yeah.
Agreed.
That's like church and state. We're just
Right.
got to get on the other side.
Pretty much, yeah. Because I feel like Adidas and Nike have their own kind of,
There's a line.
yeah,
Okay.
But I also wouldn't
They're
wear
separate.
like Puma and Nike.
right. Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah,
you know,
Puma
here's some
definitely.
brand
Yeah.
knowledge. Puma and Adidas are. Really
I was going to say they're
brands.
brothers.
I know.
Well, Puma and Adidas. But are you also going,
I'm a very. I don't.
you're a purist?
You're going on like. I've done it. Don't get me wrong. I've done it. But like I'm
I've
not
done
wearing
it
Nike-
once or twice.
I won't wear Nike socks with Adidas sneakers.
Right.
I won't wear Adidas socks with Nike sneakers. It's just I have Nike shorts on right now. I have Nike shoes on. I wouldn't have put on a pair of. I don't think I even own a pair of Adidas. Not knocking Adidas. Actually I have Ultra Boost. I have tons of Ultra Boost because I like to work in them.
Oh, me too.
Right.
I like to work in them. But I probably wouldn't put on a pair of Adidas today if I was wearing my Nike shorts. Like just personal.
Personal
Maybe it's what I
opinion.
grew up on and
Wanna stay
how it's
inside.
like my own little.
You just gotta pay the respect to the brands.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it just is what it is.
I
That's how
just
I
see
feel.
kids do that all the time, and I'm like,
They don't know.
it's not. You know why? Because I think they try to equate it. It's like, oh man,
I think
which
no
people
thought
may
went
be
into
upset
it.
if you do this, which is fine because I own a Gucci belt as well. Okay, like I'm guilty. But if
He does.
it's like the kid in the mall who's wearing like a Gucci belt with like a Dior shirt, some fucking weird Prada pants, and you're like, we get it, bro. Like
You're so cool.
we get it.
Right.
But that I think they try to make be the same thing with, but the Nike Adidas Under Armour thing, that makes me more mad. I
Well,
would
yeah,
rather
Under
you
Armour,
walk
yeah.
in and have 4 Gucci
I mean,
belts
when you're
on
wearing
and be
all
like,
designer,
cool.
Right.
that's a statement. At
It's a
that
status
point.
thing, right?
That's like, I got this and I can do this.
Yes.
So,
That's where
but
Off-White comes into
when
play.
where
Right.
I think
Like-
is like when you're wearing Adidas Nike, there's no thought played into it.
Yeah.
When I see a kid wearing a Nike shirt, Nike shorts, Nike, he thought about that. He didn't randomly.
Kid walks in, you're like, bro,
Unless
did you
his
even think
mom-
about what you're in right now? Like,
Right.
go out and come back later. When you're back in the fit, we draw the line. Okay, so my follow-up question to this is, I don't know if you guys have seen this. It's not really a meme, but it's something that I pay attention to. So shorts in the summertime. What's too short? If you're
you
wearing
like-
shorts. Oh, good.
You
Short
all
shorts are
sack
coming
this
back.
out.
I'm
Short
glad
shorts
we
are
just hit a
coming
vein. You both just rolled your eyes at this question, so I gotta know.
I think it's just
I'm
our
obviously
era.
not a short
Like,
short guy.
It's what we grew up on. Like I don't wear short shorts.
So like the
he
9-inch.
does.
No, so the 9-inch inseam is right below the knee, right?
That's
is that
where I
like
draw the line.
9?
Oh no, honey, you wear like a 7.
Yeah,
No,
I do.
can't
I
lie,
wear it
went
above the knee.
I have went above the knee over the years. I can't lie, dude. And like for me, like I said, I have a skin thing, so I have really ugly legs. Like there's scars all over them and shit. And I never used to show my legs. I only used to wear pants. And
Yeah.
for me to wear, like, I used to wear shorts past my knee and make sure they were past my knee.
Okay.
I've learned just to not care. And over the years, seeing styles and seeing how certain things look, the long tee with a short pair of shorts kind of came into play. Like, it looks cool. Like,
Right.
You know what I mean? And I've just learned more just what's comfortable for me. I've had like bathing suit shorts that are a little bit above my knee that are really cool colors that I wanted to wear that day, so I threw them on.
But like, do you consider those short shorts if they're above the knee?
No, dude. If you got like thigh high, like
That's what I mean. If you,
on,
bro, if you got half your thighs out, that's different.
if you like it, then it's
Like
all
I said, if you can pull it off,
This
and
is
you
where
like
my
it,
play comes.
This is the
By
personal
all means,
opinion. Are
yeah.
you wearing you're wearing shorts? How long are they?
below my knees,
Below the knee. Right.
Jordan shorts.
Jordan shorts. They're below
They're
the knee.
tailored for basketball
I'm
players.
standing
Right.
up.
I
These are
was gonna
going
say.
to be above my, right below my knees.
When you sit.
Okay.
Okay, so they're there. So now my follow-up question to this is, hot take, not a real big fan of the summer. I don't get to wear my fits. Pisses me off by the end of it. Like, when we get to this point in September, dude, I literally wake up on a Saturday like, yes. I wore a hoodie here because I know I can wear a t-shirt here. When I leave, I get to wear a hoodie when I leave. In the morning, I could wear a jacket. Like,
Best
love
time
in
of
the
year.
summertime, dude,
I
it
love
would
layering.
drive me crazy. I could never live in California all the time. That would drive
Right.
me insane. Until you meet someone from California, they're like, oh, it was 78 degrees out, so I wore a hoodie and jeans and a jacket. I'm like, you're fucking psycho, bro.
I'm
Like,
more of a summer guy. I can't lie.
but sorry. So the question is, are you 365? Are you doing pants or are you doing shorts? All year, you got to choose one. Like, what are you more comfortable in?
I'm doing Jordan shorts.
You're doing
all
Jordan
year.
shorts. Okay, see that's a hot take, bro. I could not. You could like, can you wear that in January?
I mean, I can for sure, especially if
Joe's
I
like,
got
that
the high Nikes.
motherfucker gonna walk in here. So,
Down parka with some
If I
shorts.
warm
would,
up
though.
here,
He would.
so you could feasibly pull off shorts.
yeah, for sure. I used to do it when I worked for Champs. I mean, that was our
Okay.
uniform. I wore shorts. We had pants or shorts, and I always wore shorts just because. Like, yeah, I don't
You
care
want
about
pants?
like
When I worked for Champs, I made myself fit into a pair of girl pants because
Yeah.
I didn't like the way.
Dude, I would too.
I don't
The
like
cut fucks me up. I don't like that,
I'm
bro.
not a big fan. Like, if you had the same question, I'd pick probably pants over all year round.
I'm pants.
Yeah,
all
I
I
year.
can
wear
deal
jeans.
with being. I mean, this is like where like I like the summertime. Don't get me wrong. I love fall. Fall's great, but I'm just a pants guy. Like I just like to wear pants.
Yeah, for me, I'm just, which is, like, I feel you 1,000%. And I will say this, and she can attest to this. My short game
Is
is
weak.
weaker than weak, bro.
It's
It's
weak.
the,
I got like
it's the, weak. Oh, no. On God. Khaki, navy, black, and tan. Because tan's different than khaki. Like, bro, that's it. There's not another pair that's coming up. I'm not wearing a different pair. And in all honesty, when I look at it even nowadays, I'm like, so you tell me I got to walk into a Mitchell & Ness and buy one of those new fancy throwback pair of shorts for like $100?
come see me.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah, no,
I'm going to, I'm coming here. Like, I'm going to Pastor President to buy some fits.
But now that you
Hell
like, bring
no,
that
I'm not
up, I
lying now.
really have like a question. So for like people like me, I just naturally have expensive taste. Like I said before, it's just who I am.
Joe's like,
I don't
for
even
sure.
know that I have it. I just have it.
I've seen it before.
But
you pull it off well.
yeah.
I know, and I don't even know. I'm just like, I like this,
God.
and I have no idea. I just like it. But for somebody that like doesn't know, like, how did you gain your knowledge on, like, what these are worth? Like, you talked about the single stitch. I don't know what the fuck that means. I just know the shit looks cute.
It's
So
kind of
like,
a touchy subject.
how do you get that knowledge and like really like navigate to how you're pricing your items? I know that you have your own way of pricing, and if you don't feel comfortable, I understand
Nah,
that.
that's
But
cool. I don't like. I'm not.
how does that
in
work?
this
Because
thing.
I think that's so interesting. Because I felt better about my purchases when I was like, this was from Europe, and
Exactly, well, like,
Yeah, right.
So
And if it's easy, like, could you even describe like why this?
Oh, we got this here,
is-
and I love
why
that.
this
was
is
awesome.
more valuable
love
than a
this
different
shirt.
that's
Harley
one of the first
Davidson tee?
Harley Davidson shirts I've seen with the print starting from the sleeve to sleeve. You see a lot of sports shirts do that across the chest. That right there was first really cool to me. the year of it. I think it's an earlier.
Yeah, the
90s
back
one.
graphic on it is
Back
dope.
graphic's really cool. What comes into play is
Colors.
He's like, we got all this unnecessary.
I didn't want to touch her hair.
Yeah, you're good. She worked on it for
Yeah,
3
trying
hours.
to-
It's fine.
Not keep a 6 foot difference, but distance. But
It's all right. We're all consenting.
what it comes down to is from the beginning, it's a lot of learn from your mistakes.
Okay.
I didn't go ask every single person in the world how to do this, how to do that, where to go, what to do. I would buy really stupid shit and thought it was cool because I thought I was buying the right stuff and learned that it wasn't the right stuff. And you grow from there, and you realize when you bought a shirt and it's not selling on eBay for a month and it's not doing anything on your Instagram and it's not, no one cares for it, then you made a mistake. Or and then you watch videos, and you brought up Sean earlier, and you watch Round 2 and you watch all these stores and you watch these bigger Instagrams. You kind of just pick up what they're doing, and you don't have to. It doesn't mean you have to ask them every single question in the world. Just like kind of watch what they're doing. They're showing you without telling you. Like you're kind of getting an idea. If you see someone posting the same type of things, like peep what they're posting, get an idea of what they're doing. And it's just, I think that I don't know how I can explain how I did that, but I just took what I thought was cool and what I thought was doing well, and like I've just learned how to do that. When it comes to pricing. If I don't know it off the top of the head, for the most part, I price basic stuff. Like, I don't know what you call basic, but like
Large spell outs and large graphics. That's just kind of a general
there's some
rule,
cool.
rule of
Bless
thumb.
you.
Thank you.
Polo and Tommy Hilfiger, I feel like, are the big part of the spell outs. Like, if it, if,
that
the name's
if this
spelled,
shows up, if you find something with a big graphic up front,
right,
off rip, is something I should buy because there's potential.
Because even like this shirt, like when I got this shirt here,
That's great. The back of it's amazing.
Yeah.
that's what I said. But
Back of
like,
that shirt's amazing.
Wore it to like my mom and dad the first time, didn't realize it said fuck on the back of it, and I was like, it was really cool when Adriana wanted
It's
to
an
buy it, so I don't know.
But Harley's a good example for kind of what you brought up. Is, you got Harley shirts from 1970s and 80s up until now. So someone can walk in with the coolest looking Harley shirt in the world, but it's from a store that they bought it from yesterday. Don't get me wrong. If I like a graphic, I'll buy something, and it might be for me. I might put it in, but like for the most part, we're looking for your older stuff. We have the vintage. That's one of the things I stay true to is the vintage part of what we do. It's why I didn't go crazy on sneakers and stuff like that. But Harley's a great example because you can have a Harley shirt that's worth $5, or you can have a Harley shirt worth hundreds, close. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even more than that sometimes, and it's all about the history. The history behind the stuff and what it really is, and certain manufacturers made certain things, and you pick up all this stuff over the years. But if I don't know it off the top of the head, the first thing I would do if I with that one, you guys bought that as it came in that day.
that was
I was gonna
For
say
all
it didn't
I
even
know,
get priced.
I could have undercharged you, or
Yeah.
it's like I don't like saying this. I could have overcharged you because you know what I mean. I didn't know it right off the bat, but you wanted it so bad, and I felt like let me put this at a price that I'm selling most my better stuff at, or right in the middle stuff, and give it to you for that price. But that one, that's where I type in big spell out Harley t-shirt, look up the year 1992, and see what pops up.
yeah.
And if not the exact same one pops up, then I'll kind of base it off of what's there.
I think that's a big part, which I absolutely want to hear what you're going to say. Is that when we walked in, you said that to us, and that was maybe the second time I was here. Yeah, do we have connections to each other? Sure, where you maybe want to do that like justice, but like you're very honest with saying like, I just bought this and it's here. Like, let me look on eBay for 10 minutes and just see. Okay, it's medium priced around here, because you're gonna know if you type in something like that and it's like this shirt's worth $700. That's gonna pop up really quick. So when you can find that median gauge, but I know as you guys, you do that for any kid who walked in and he was like, "Hey, Matt, I really like that shirt." Like, you didn't post that, you didn't put it out. Is that for sale? Give me a couple minutes just so I can like figure out what the worth of it is.
We're not experts, man. We don't know everything.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
It's got to be
everything. If you claim
impossible
you
with
know
all this
everything,
stuff, man.
you're
You can't
wrong.
know for sure.
But I still love like the history that I got, like even buying the items. Like I said, I just know what I like. But like even getting like a glimpse history into like the shirt like was amazing, because I was like, ooh,
Right.
I'm fancy.
But I didn't want to cut you off. What did you want to
No,
say?
just like the large graphics and the spells, like I was saying before, that was huge in the 90s. 90s started, like, they produced stuff that was loud and big, and that was a big part of that was hip hop. Like it was just loud for no reason, and just hats, even hats. Like you have the big logos, and then kind of like when you got into the 2000s, mid 2000s, it kind of like shrunk. Like fashion just became like more simple, and then now, but the big logo hats now are worth like hundreds of dollars. So now it's like coming back, and so like that's why I said like the loud graphics, all over prints. You see a spell out from the sleeve to the other sleeve, right there. If it's a vintage piece, it's definitely going to be worth it.
Yeah.
You go into retail stores now, they're copying stuff.
Oh.
They really
I was gonna say
vintage.
the T-shirt that you're wearing, which is
Right.
fire.
Yeah.
You would walk into any big name brand and that shirt would be $19.99. And you're trying to replicate it.
And this is something before I got into this stuff. Like I never really was like, if it was like sports wise, like I had some like all over prints. But I wouldn't have worn this back in the day. But now, like, you know what I mean? I love the biker stuff, the all-over print, like the loud, you know what I mean?
So, do you know what it takes to make that T-shirt?
Yeah.
I was just about to say that. You said something really, really, really fast when we bought this shirt that I don't know if anyone else recognized, but I did. And you pulled out the shirt and you were like, do you see this? Do you see this across the chest?
Right.
Do you know how much this costs to make? Like,
Right.
you said it really quick. You're like,
You got to do that in pieces.
this
You can't just do
shit.
that in one
Yeah,
shot.
you said that. You were like, you have to make the sleeve with the print. And then I went to college enough and I've done construction on clothing enough to know that it's hard enough to do this, let alone an all over print like that. I mean, it is if to anyone's watching who's interested in something like that, it is precision cutting, precision sewing. It's meticulous, bro. Like it's really, really, really hard to pull that off. And you're paying for the graphic on the sleeve, the graphic on the chest, the graphic on the other sleeve to match the back. This is 9 different pieces all sewn together.
Yeah. Right.
That's why people don't do this anymore, because if you want to sell that nowadays
too
in a
much money.
score, it's going to cost way too much money,
Do
bro.
we have a shirt idea that we want to drop so bad? One, I can't find somebody to print it without charging.
I was going
me
to say that. It's also really hard.
Not hundreds, but like close to like $80 to $100 for a tee.
So it wouldn't be worth selling.
I
like,
couldn't
you know.
even.
Yeah.
I would sell it to break even. And to be honest, I'm at the I want. This shirt is such a cool idea that we want to I'm about to just break even on it. It's like I'm not, like I said, I'm not about the money. To where
I'm all for that,
I'd be
though.
so hyped for people to just rep our brand. Like it's just cool for me. Like when we sold out of our P2P shirts, and I dropped them like a day before we opened the store, and we didn't do a crazy grand opening. We were supposed to open coronavirus, dude. Like at March 28th was supposed to be our day to open our grand opening. We had a scheduled flyer made, and then boom, we get shut down the weekend before that. I paid months on the store to sell at home, but I wasn't letting that defeat the dream. And then we I kind of marketed this P2P. We did a play on
I saw it was the PlayStation
2.
2.
Yeah.
A little bit of marketing we put on Instagram. I sold out half of them the first night on Instagram when we dropped them, and then the next day we had the rest of them in store right on that rack, and they sold out in a day.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
I was
that's
gonna
like
say,
people
man.
want to rep my brand. That's what I was getting to earlier. It was like people traveling to come see us, people wanting to pay $20 to wear one of my shirts, which is a logo that I made on it. That's why we're gonna actually announce it now. I have buddies bringing me vintage blank T-shirts, vintage blank crew necks, vintage,
that's
and we're gonna
awesome.
embroider just past the present, just the main Back to the Future type logo on the fronts. We're gonna screen print stuff. I'm gonna do shirts that might not be the coolest vintage T-shirt, and other brands have already done this, but we're just gonna slap single, no filler, just outline screens on over top of it, just like past the present vintage.
Yeah, but with real
Love that.
vintage T-shirts that
But
you're
we're
buying
also gonna play
wholesale,
into.
man,
We're gonna do
that's
some
what's
limited
up.
stuff. We're gonna do a bunch of shit.
I'm very excited for that, because I saw the P2P stuff that you were dropping before, and I was like, oh, that's such a cool graphic. Like, that's such a cool logo. What an interesting take from behind. And I mean, I can't underestimate it, dude. Like, I drove out to Virginia to go to the first round 2. And when I went there, I bought, all this stuff, but I still bought the round 2 merch just because
It's something.
I wanted that piece
yes.
of it. And especially if kids are coming in here and they're willing to drop X amount of dollars on anything, whatever you're pricing it at, it's much more economical than anything you're going to sell in here,
100%.
regardless. So it's like, hey, man, what's another 20, 25, 30 bucks on a T-shirt where I get the experience. I get to be here, and
100%.
it's a part of my story.
And that's one thing. I'm glad you just said the word experience because that's one thing I say that I preach that we offer. We offer a crazy, like not a crazy experience, but we offer an experience. You're not just coming to a retail store. You're gonna get to talk to us. You can pick up any T-shirt in here. I'll tell you where I got it from. A lot of times I can tell you who the maybe original owner was, who their you know what I mean. Like there's stories behind all of this stuff, and we set up the VHS over there with old movies playing for you to get that nostalgia. I made a thing the other day, and like I'm not trying to get into deep things, but you know, National Suicide Day was the other day.
I saw that. Yeah,
And
I wanted to talk to you about that.
Just kind of saying like I've dealt with a lot of that. I've dealt with a lot of drugs, and not me personally, but dealing with it on the side. Like I said, my mom's passed away, and that was over drugs, and you know what I mean. A lot of personal things, suicide, tons of friends, and it's one thing I've always offered is like I was always a person you can talk to. I was always somebody that made it clear you can reach out, and that's why. That's not just there. That little seating area with tables and VHSs and a PS2 over there is not just there for you to kind of like, oh, cool, this is a hangout spot. It's like a place for you to like, if you guys get in a fight one day and you want to get out of the house and it's like, I have nowhere to go. What am I gonna do? Drive around for hours? And that's when you're irate, you're angry. You don't want to drive around. Like you stepped in here, I bet you wouldn't step in here angry. You'd step in it instantly, like you'd get our vibe and you'd be like, you'd feel it relief, and then it's like sit down, just kind of talk with us, chill, and like. So many people do that, and that's one thing that, like, we don't just offer clothing. I offer you an experience to just come hang out with us and just be part of what we do, and that's... You brought up round two. The first season of round two is one of my favorite things to watch because of I base a lot of my business motto on what they were doing and just that loving, treating everybody. I don't give you that look you up and down the second you walk in. If you're not wearing the coolest vintage t-shirt, I think you're like, you know what I mean? I don't care what you're wearing. Like, I care for you as a person and just how you are. So that's what we portray, and we try to give you that experience. And back to t-shirts, dude, we have this guy right here is like, he creates it all. He's a graphic designer on the side. He went to school for all of that. So like, we're going to do some shit. Like,
oh, are you like semi-mastermind here?
Well, yeah, I'm
getting it now.
I went to school for graphic design. I have a degree in graphic design.
He puts the images into play.
So
I can be like, Matt, I want this, and this to look like this. Yeah. And like in 5 hours, he'll send me 16 rough drafts of what it's going to look like. And it's...
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I know from our perspective, we're about to tap on the cameras.
Oh, you're good. Okay.
So I want to thank both of you.
You're straight.
Thank you. This is awesome. More than anything, man. Anyone wants us to do this again, we can do this.
I talked way too much.
No, I think at the start of this, you had to know we were getting this all together. We've been going for at least, I think, almost an hour and a half at this point. So, real quick, where can people follow you? Where's the connection?
Instagram's Past to Present SJ. That's genuinely the best way to get in touch with us.
Past to Present SJ. That's T-O.
P-A-S-T-T-O.
Present.
I didn't feel extended. I love that you did that.
Yeah, you never know. Are there personal
SJ
pages?
And SJ stands for South Jersey, to clear that up for anybody that doesn't know that. I had a guy hit me up. It was like, San Jose, bro, I'll be there tomorrow. And I was like, I'm not in San Jose, dude. You're going to take a long time.
You're going to take a long time, a couple days.
Yeah, Past to Present SJ is our Instagram. If you're Philadelphia, New York, anywhere in the area, 127 Clements Bridge Road, Barrington, New Jersey is our storefront location.
One more time, say it again.
127 Clements Bridge Road, Barrington, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week, 11 to 7 during weekdays, 12 to 6 on Sundays.
And the IG's always on and popping.
Always lit.
Message anytime.
You can. I've never, unless you're I've never ignored a real person. I have never ignored a real person. Like there's like.
We're checking
robots that follow, but I have never ignored a real DM. If you're ever interested in anything, you ever see anything, you ever have a question, I try to be as nice as possible and answer every single person I could. So,
guys, thank you so much, man.
Thank you so
much.
Yeah,
this was
awesome.
This
was cool.
Thank you guys behind the scenes.
Yes.
We got BC. Real quick.
We
We got BCTV Media behind one. We got at Jaleel C on the other.
Yes. Thank you guys.
It's a wrap. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks.
Awesome.
I'm so glad that joke.